All right, hello, beautiful people. Today we're going to be going through the Module 11 review for the quiz. We have now learned three methods of solving systems of equations. Again, forewarned, this is my disclaimer. I am human. Mistakes can and will happen. If you find a mistake, please let me know. Also, if you hear a loud bell, I apologize in advance since I am on campus. All right, let's get started. So solve each system by elimination. So I'm going to reach out and grab my, I'm going to reach out and grab my highlighter because the keyword here is elimination. We need to use elimination. What I tell my kiddos is that, hey, if you learn anything in my classes, make sure to read the directions. You either will do too much work or not enough work, so make sure that you are reading the directions. Now, whenever we think of elimination, I want you to think of getting rid of a variable. So when you get rid of a variable, you are eliminating that variable. Okay, so kind of off to the side, I'm going to write down some steps for you. Step number 1. And this is for elimination. Okay, step number 1 is choose a variable to eliminate. Now here's the thing. There is a step 0 or another step number 1, and that step number 1 is to make sure that all of your variables are lined up. For example, the x's are on top of each other, the y's are on top of each other, and the numbers are on top of each other. I did not write this step because if I look here in all of my examples, I have the x's on top of each other, the y's on top of each other, the numbers. The x's, the y's, the numbers, the x's, the y's, the numbers, the x's, the y's, the numbers. So I don't really have to worry about it. So we're going to just skip that one step and choose this as our number 1 step. Okay, choose a variable to eliminate. Let's do that. I am going to choose a variable if I can. The variable has to have the same number in front. This is also, the number in front is also known as a coefficient. So we want the same coefficient. It doesn't matter if it's a plus or minus, we just want the number the same. Okay, so number 1, I am going to choose x to eliminate because it has a 6 here and a 6 here. Now that I've done step number 1, I'm going to do step number 2. If these signs are different or opposite, I'm going to add. If the signs are same, I'm going to subtract. So if I look here, this one is a minus, this one is a plus. So I am going to, let me zoom in here just for a second. I'm going to add those two equations together. And this is how I would like for you to add. You're going to draw a line underneath. You're going to do pluses between all of the terms, top and bottom. And then you're actually going to add, just like we did back in elementary school. So 6 plus negative 6, that's nothing. Y plus negative 2y, I'm actually going to write that out. Y plus negative 2y. And here I have negative 13 plus 14. When you write it out like this, it's easier to see what you have. So y plus negative 2y, I'm going to simplify that to negative y, bring down the equals. Then I have negative 13 plus 14, so that's just 1. And here's the thing, we need to solve for y. This is not y, this is negative y. So the easiest thing to do is you're going to flip the sign on all of the terms by multiplying by -1, both sides. So here I have is y, here I have is -1. Now, are we done? No, we are not done. This is only part of your answer. We are not done. So once you're here, I'm going to write step number 3, solve for the other variable. So let's go through the steps again. Choose a variable to eliminate. We're looking for a number that is the same in front of the same variable. For example, if you have the same number in front of different variables, doesn't work. It has to be the same variable. Now, once we have that, if the signs are the same, then we subtract. If the signs on that variable, on that coefficient are different, then we add. Then once we do that, we're going to solve for the variable. Step number 4 is choose an equation. Like, we don't care what equation you choose. Pick an equation. I recommend an easy one. Choose an equation that's not complicated. Don't make your life difficult. Make your life easier. Choose a simple equation. And again, your simple might be different than my simple. So that's okay. You can choose whichever equation you want. Obviously, you have 2 equations for this one, so it's either you're choosing the top or the bottom. It's up to you. Once you choose an equation, you're going to resubstitute your answer from step 3 and solve. So this is our step number 3, okay? So we're going to choose an equation. I'm going to choose the top equation because I don't want a negative. Now, if you like negatives, you have my blessing. Go ahead and choose the bottom one, but I don't like negatives, so I'm going to choose the top one. So I'm going to choose 6x plus y is equal to -13. Oh, and I do see I do have a negative here. So, I mean, it doesn't really matter which one you choose. All right, so I'm going to take my answer from step number 3. I'm going to substitute it in for the variable. Now, I'm substituting it in for y because I solved for y here. So I'm going to plug in -1. So I have 6x plus, always use parentheses, -1 is equal to -13. This here is just 6x minus 1 is equal to -13. I'm going to add 1 to both sides. Again, if I'm going too fast, please make sure to stop this video. 6x is equal to, what is this, -12. I'm going to divide by 6 both sides. X is equal to -2. Now, is this my answer? No! Unfortunately, that's still not our answer. Now, this is part of our answer. This is part of our answer. The X and the Y always have a relationship between each other. They're buddies. They're partners. And in order for us to let everyone know that these two numbers have a relationship between each other, we have to write it as a coordinate point. So your actual answer for number 1 looks like -2, comma, -1 in parentheses. This is your final answer for number 1. Okay. Now, if any of that you need to rewatch, go back, restart the video, pause it. Please make sure that if you have any questions to let us know.